guys, welcome to my reading vlog. If you're new here, hi, I'm Ankita. If you've watched my previous reading vlog, you know that the theme there was comfort, and in this second reading vlog, I still want to carry on that theme. So I have picked two feel-good books. So the books that I have picked for this reading vlog are The Midnight Library by Matt Haig and Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Maud Montgomery. Now, I know this is supposed to be a comfort reading vlog, and the whole idea, the whole theme is to feel good while reading these books. I'm really hopeful that I'll feel much better after I finish them. But I also want to set up a challenge for myself. That is, I do want to read 100 pages minimum every day. So this is going to be a 5-day vlog, and I have done some math. And the two books that I've picked, they are not exactly, they do not add up to 500 pages. The Midnight Library is 289 pages. I'll pop it up over here and we'll do the math. Anne of Green Gables is 320 pages. So that adds up to 609 pages, which seems a lot, which is like 109 pages over my target of reading 100 pages a day, but I have a feeling that I might actually go over my target and reach this total of 609 pages in 5 days. Okay, so I'll tell you about my strategy. My strategy is to read around 3 to 4 hours every day to reach this goal of 100 pages, which I think should be easy because both the books that I've selected are easy reads. If you haven't already read Anne of Green Gables, you are very much aware that it is a children's book. So the language is easy to follow. I have already read 4 chapters and I am loving it, guys. If you haven't read Anne of Green Gables and you want to read a feel-good book, you want to read a book about a little girl who has such a different perspective of the entire world, this book is for you. And it's not just a book, there are actually 8 books in the series, which is fantastic. The more, the merrier, the better. Let me tell you something about the Midnight Library. I am already around 40 pages in today, so I still have around 60 pages to go. But the good news is that it is a very easy read. So I think reaching this target of 300 pages of this book, 309 pages. Oh, is it 309 pages? So finishing this book in 3 days will be a piece of cake, really. At least I hope it will be. But the whole point is to enjoy, so I don't want to go really over and above it. I do still want to enjoy each and every page of this book. So that's the challenge for this weekly vlog. I will see you on day 3. I might not be able to update you on day 2, but I'll definitely see you on day 3, and I hopefully will be somewhere towards the end of the Midnight Library, and we'll see how far I get in Anne of Green Gables as well. Hi guys, welcome to day 3 of the reading vlog, and I am on track with the challenge of reading 100 pages a day. So far the challenge is going great. I did finish 100 pages on day 1, and I read more than 100 on day 2, and today I finished The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Guys, I needed this book. It's like the universe sent this book to me at the right time. This book is a gift to the world. I cannot thank the author enough for writing this book and publishing it during the pandemic when it is so much needed. It struck a chord with me. I didn't realize how much I needed this book, this work of fiction. In this book, we follow Nora, who is a 35-year-old woman who is having a terrible and a horrible day in her life. She is basically in that phase of life where she feels like she hasn't accomplished anything. She's just having a bad day, and then throughout the day she meets people who constantly remind her, who unintentionally remind her of her failures, of her shortcomings, and just make her feel horrible. And it is not a great thing to feel if you yourself are feeling horrible. And that's exactly what Nora is feeling. She is absolutely disappointed in herself, and then the world is just not helping her feel better. And unfortunately, Nora decides this world is not for her, this life is not for her, and she decides to die. And then she ends up between life and death in this midnight library, which consists of books containing different versions of her life. And she basically gets a chance to live those lives. Haven't you wondered like what your life would have been if you were given one different choice, and if you would have made one different decision in your life? Maybe you would have gone to a different school. Maybe you would have taken that trip that you always wanted to, and things would have turned out so differently. And that's exactly what Nora finds out, that if she would have done something differently, would her life would have been better? Would she have felt as worthless as she did now? That's the journey that you take with Nora. You see her go through this, and Nora learns a lot of lessons. This book truly struck a chord with me, because aren't there so many points in our lives where we stop and we think, what if I could have done something differently? So this book is all about what ifs. And if you are in that phase of your life where you are constantly regretting where you have ended up, you need to read this book. This book will give you a completely different perspective of your life. If you yourself are struggling during this very difficult time, and if you have this feeling that your life is worthless, you're unable to find a purpose in your life, you are questioning the purpose of your life, or if you are just in a very bad mental space, you need to read this book. And if you know someone who is going through a difficult phase, give them this book. This book is amazing. Matt Haig has been incredibly generous in writing Nora's story and sharing her story with the world. And so I'm going to be really generous and give this book a 5-star rating. This book is deep. It is very deep. So if you are someone who is not looking for a self-help fiction, then you might want to avoid it. But other than that, I would really, really recommend everyone to read this book. There are so many good quotes from this book that I've highlighted, and I want to read a couple of them to you. The first one is, "The only way to learn is to live." The only way to learn is to live. One more quote that I really liked is, "If you aim to be something you are not, you will always fail. Aim to be you. Aim to look and act and think like you. Aim to be the truest version of you. Embrace that you-ness. Endorse it, love it, work hard at it, and don't give a second thought when people mock it or ridicule it. Most gossip is envy in disguise." And one more, and the last one, I promise this is the last quote. "Why want another universe if this one has dogs?" Having said that, this book is also quite entertaining, and I can see this becoming a movie sometime in the future. I still haven't reached my goal of 100 pages today, because I did go over 100 pages yesterday, which means my book didn't have as many pages in it today. I will now read Anne of Green Gables. But before I do that, I think I'm going to bake myself a batch of banana oatmeal cookies. I've never made them before, so this is going to be my first go. It has no sugar in it. That's what I'm going to treat myself, because this life is worth living, and I'm going to live it to the fullest by baking myself some banana oatmeal cookies. I'll see you on day 5. Hi guys, welcome to day 5 of the reading vlog. I just finished reading Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Maud Montgomery. And what a book. The story begins with Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert, who are elderly siblings and who want to adopt a young boy to help them on their farm. What happens is that they end up getting a girl instead of a boy from an orphanage, and they decide to actually send her back to the orphanage. But this girl who is Anne Shirley, who is our protagonist, she is such a lovely and vivacious girl that she wins their heart, and we follow her story in this book. Anne has crazy, wild imagination. Another thing is that Anne has such romantic notions of everything in life. She believes in romanticizing every situation. Her approach to life is so optimistic that you cannot help but fall in love with her. At the same time, you realize that she is so well aware. Despite of being so young, she is around 11 when she comes to Green Gables, and we realize that she is so self-aware and always reflective, and she is absolutely chatty. And because she is so vivacious and so full of life, she ends up getting into scrapes. That makes this book so fun to read. I burst into laughter, and towards the end of the book, I was so into the whole story that I couldn't help but shed a few tears. It is a middle grade read. I don't know why I didn't read this when I was a teenager, but well, better late than never. Having enjoyed this book so much, I decided to give this book 5 stars. Anything less than that would be unjust on my part. I do realize that this book was written a century ago, and so there are some problems in there, but this one deserves a 5 because it is such a light-hearted read. Having said that, this week was all about reading 100 pages every day. So let's see if I did manage to get in those 100 pages. Actually, I did go a little over my intended goal. I cannot take credit for it. It's all about the books. The books were like the Midnight Library was a page turner, and the same can be said about Anne of Green Gables. I have done some math over here. Let's see how good I am at math. So I think I did manage to actually read 100 pages every day. Did I use any strategy? I did get most of my reading done in 2 hours in the morning, and then before bed, maybe an hour or hour and a half. So that means around 4 hours every day, but I did read in between, so maybe I read more than 4 hours. I did not time my progress for this particular challenge. I wish I'd done that. So if you ever plan to do this challenge, the only tip I have for you is pick up the books that you really want to read. And that goes for any and every challenge. That way you will also be able to enjoy the challenge. And I'm very glad that I got 2 5-star reads this week. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions about these 2 books, or you have already read these books and you want to share your thoughts, please leave a comment down below. Please like this video and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.